You have to understand that God will place you in a particular church, bring you into certain teaching because of what he's doing in your life. We don't put down the ministries that emphasize holiness, and that's all they ever talk about, because it is a necessary word for the body. But a lot of times leaders don't understand that what you have is a word, but God is speaking a whole sentence. You just got one word in the sentence. That's why we don't try to teach that all of what we are emphasizing is the whole word for Harrisburg. This ain't the whole word for Harrisburg. There are other churches where the emphasis is on the miraculous and the healing power of the Lord. That's all you're going to hear about when you go to that church. Miracles and healings and supernatural occurrences. Why? Because it's a necessary part. It's a necessary word. It's not everything, but it's wrong when other believers say or start to feel like their church has it. We've got the word for Harrisburg. And that's what keeps Harrisburg divided, the church in Harrisburg, and divided. Because one church is all about healings and miracles. Another church is all about political involvement. Another church is all about, holiness. Another church, and then you come to Fruitful Life. I say Fruitful Life. Lord, when's the last time I called ourselves Fruitful Life? You come and I'm thinking about our Fruitful Lifestyles development teaching series. You come to Urban Life, and we're talking about the fruitful living aspect, that you and I can live a fruitful life before the Lord. And so it's not, you have to get settled in where God has called you and not look at everybody else. It's sort of like, look, you joined this team. So if you see another team that seems to be excelling, and they seem to be excelling, think about football or baseball or basketball. You join this team. Now, you see another team, they've got what looks like bigger players, better players, faster players, all of that, then you can't yield to the enemy's temptation to make you feel like you joined the wrong team. Because they're bigger, they're faster, they've got more money, they've got more people, and it must be something that they're doing that our pastor is missing, because remember we went through this, all of us, you kind of go through this, God, did you really call us to this? Because we still only got the small amount of people, and we've been doing this for 6 years. We've been here for 7 years, and we've been doing this for 6 years, and we still got a small amount of people. So, but you see other people, they can come to town, and in 2 years, they got 300 people. So, God, what is this? A preacher can come to town and start preaching all about money, and half the town flocks to that church. But here I've got pastors, and we know the battle. Here I've got a pastor, and they're trying to help people get healed. They ain't trying to take nobody's money. And how come we can't get nobody to come to our church? So the battle is there. God, okay, who's right here? What's really going on here? Well, the principle is this. Jesus said, people only think about this in terms of salvation, but the principle is this. It's a narrow way. It's a very narrow way. This is a kingdom of God principle. It's a narrow way, and few to find it. The way that leads to destruction is broad, and everybody finds that road, and it's easy to find, and you can just stay on it, go along with the crowd. This is a kingdom of God principle. When God starts bringing you into the narrow way, it's more restrictive. It has very precise steps. It calls for discipline. It calls for denying yourself. It does. And not many people want to follow this way. Because even though my wife and I have never beat nobody over the head about holiness, we've never beat nobody over the head about giving offering or money in this house, we've never beat nobody over the head about attendance. Never. Never. And there are pastors and leaders who feel that we are wrong for not doing that. Because the whole point is to get people to come and give money. So we're not going to beat nobody over the head about those things, because it's like this. This is between you and the Lord. So Urban Life Church emphasis, teaching, and everything is all about showing you how to connect personally with God and whatever He tells you. Because here's the truth. Everybody walks and lives out of the revelation that God gives to them. You don't do it because pastor said so. There are people who say they do, but they really don't. Everybody really does what they are convinced of in their heart, good or bad. That's the only way you're going to live, all of us. You're going to do what you really are convinced of. So, we don't play the manipulation game. We let God speak to you. So we don't preach about money, because the issue of money is between you and God. And if God says give an offering to help in the work at Urban Life Church, you're doing it because God told you, not because Chris and Carol manipulated you and made you feel bad if you don't, or told
made you feel some kind of way.
Made you feel some kind of way, or made you feel like you're going to go to hell. We don't teach you're going to go to hell if you don't tithe. But there are people that teach that, John. We don't teach that you are forsaking the assembling of yourselves if you don't come to church every single week. But there are people that teach that, John. In fact, they teach that so strongly. That is the reason why people are going to be at church today and tonight and Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Friday. Because they've been told, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves, as is the manner of some. And so they connect that teaching with, and if you do forsake the assembling of yourselves, you are now in disobedience. Disobedience is sin. Sin is against God. Therefore, you are not saved, and therefore you are going to hell. Some of y'all been under that kind of teaching, so you know what I'm saying is true. So what you're facing is a decision that's between you and the Lord. Lord, am I in the right church? Am I with the right pastors? Am I connected to the right people? And once that's settled for John, then God can speak to you and convince you wholeheartedly, this is the right folks, this is the right people, this is the right leadership. This is where I want you in this season in your life. Because you're going to always see and confront people that know more, do more, seemingly have more. A lot of the pastors around here, I'll just tell you, John, they have degrees that I don't have. They have training that I don't have. They've been instructed and taught in various doctrines. Now, when I say I don't mean I don't have anything. I just haven't been instructed in what they've been instructed in. That's part of the reason why I tell my story. You know, I got saved at 4 years old. I grew up in the church, Sunday school, Baptist Training Union, then went to Church of God in Christ, Sunday school, YPWW, Young People Willing Workers. Went away to college, went to Oral Roberts University, got exposed to some New Testament survey, Old Testament survey, which is some courses that they required of us to go through to learn some basic Bible stuff. After I came out of that, went to a charismatic church where they put us through what they called a leadership layman's course. It was a 1-year course. And we were going to church on Sunday morning and going on Sunday nights to their layman leadership course. I forgot how many weeks it was. And they gave us a certificate and everything for everybody that went through the course and graduated. Eventually, my wife and I got in. When my brother started his church, he took us through a 5-year leadership training course. And it literally was 5 years with exams. And it was that you had to pass. And he did it based upon his schooling and training that he had received, both at Oral Roberts University and attending CBN University was called before they changed the name to Regent, and out of his personal study and trying to prepare his leadership to be able to be sent out to deal with the real issues that we're going to have to deal with in ministry.